Hey guys, welcome back to Creativity Made Easy. It's Meryem here. So this week I just want to share with you how I created this confetti style backdrop with a balloon garland. It was really simple to make, not to mention cost efficient. I spent around $35 to make this entire backdrop, and it took me about 4 hours to do it. So if you're interested, stick around and I'll show you how I did it. Okay, so first you're just going to want to set up a base on the wall for your confetti to stick to. So I just used wrapping paper from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to tape that to the wall, and it measures about 6.5 feet off the ground and almost 7 feet wide. Then I purchased all these plastic tablecloths and these 2 table skirts from Hobby Lobby. So next we're going to turn the tablecloths into confetti. To do this, you're going to cut the tablecloths into 3 equal portions. Some of them I did 3 equal portions, some of them I did 2 equal portions just to get a variation in size. So after I cut 3 equal portions, then I layered them one on top of the other, and now I'm going to cut slits all along the bottom of the tablecloth. So to do this, put something hard at the bottom, so either cardboard or wood would be preferable. So use a utility knife and just 1 inch down from the top of the tablecloth, just cut your slits. So it took about 10 minutes to do this one tablecloth all the way across. So I thought that was too much time. I didn't want to spend 10 minutes on each tablecloth. So what I did was I did 3 tablecloths together. So I cut 3 tablecloths horizontally so that I had 6 pieces, 6 strands, and then I layered all 6 strands on top of each other, and then I put scrap piece of wood from my garage underneath, and I use my utility knife, and if you press really firmly, you're able to cut through all 6 layers. So it still took me 10 minutes to do that, but at least in the 10 minutes I did 3 tablecloths as opposed to 1. So next it was time to tape the confetti sheets to the backdrop. So I started by just taping them in straight lines all the way across the backdrop, and I learned really quickly that that looked terrible, so don't do that. So an hour into the backdrop, I realized that I hated how it looked and I didn't like the straight lines. I wanted a more zigzag staggered effect. So to do this, what I did was when it came to the green confetti, I actually cut the sheet into one 4-foot long piece. Then I folded that piece onto itself so that it was 2 feet long. Then I taped that piece to the backdrop, so you want to tape it in a diagonal line. So one piece on the one end, I taped it really high up, and I did a diagonal line coming down, and then I taped the other piece down. And the other piece I cut into a 4-foot long piece, folded it in half, and then taped it to the part where the other green piece had just ended, and brought it up in a diagonal line and taped it to the top. So now I had that V shape that I was looking for, and if I keep following and cutting those 4-foot long pieces, folding them in half and taping them like in this V shape, I'm finally going to get that zigzag shape that I was looking for. So I wish I had figured this out at the beginning when I started the backdrop, because I had to actually go back with my scissors and cut all the other confetti pieces into that zigzag shape. But if you do it the way I'm explaining it, just cut the pieces and then tape them diagonally to get that zigzag effect. It'll save you a lot more time and it'll be more efficient. You'll probably finish the backdrop in about an hour, whereas it took me about 2 hours because I was just trying to figure out how it could possibly look good. So I did the same thing with the gold table runner. I cut them into smaller pieces and I taped them in a zigzag shape. So my backdrop was kind of all over the place when I was doing it, but you should actually start it from the bottom and layer on top. So each layer you add on top is just kind of falling over the layer that's beneath it. It'll be much easier for you to see where the tape is going, whereas I was just moving the confetti sheets above it to, kind of find a place to tape. So work from the bottom and layer on top. So next I just framed off the backdrop by making a balloon garland. The balloon garland took me an hour and a half to do. I have a detailed description on how to make balloon garlands. They're very simple. I'm going to link that in the description box along with all the supplies, how many balloons I purchased, and all the materials. It's all going to be in the description box, so check that out. And that's it for this backdrop. I realized the tutorial was kind of all over the place because it was my first time making this backdrop, so I wasn't really sure how to go about it, and I made a lot of mistakes. But the proper way that I would recommend for you guys to do it would be to start at the very bottom and cut your strips into those smaller pieces and actually make the V shape by doing diagonal lines, taping it that way, and then moving up a layer and then adding a new color and taping that diagonally as well, so you get that zigzag effect. I really think if you do it that way, you will, save so much time, and you should be able to do this in an hour, because me making all the mistakes I did, it took me about 2 hours to set up the backdrop portion and then an hour and a half to do the balloon garland. Another recommendation that I would have is, I don't personally think that I think I purchased 6 tablecloths. I don't think that was enough, because you can see that there's still like, you shouldn't be able to see through each layer, like the underneath layer. And I feel like there's a lot of gaps. So if I was to go about this and make this again, I would buy more tablecloths just so you get a thicker layer of confetti. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit that little notification bell so you stay up to date with all my latest tutorials. And I will see you guys in another video, God willing. Bye.